Hello. Now let's look at plurals. English plurals can be quite confusing, but there are basic rules that we can follow. For instance, in most cases, simply add an S. Cat, cats. Dog, dogs. There are cases where you boys, keys, subways. There are cases where you have to add ES, so let's look at those. Words ending in Y, monastery. If there is a consonant before the Y, then we change the Y to I and add ES. We have monastery, monasteries. Sky, skies. Consonant Y, baby, babies. Consonant Y, pastry, pastries. So if there's a consonant before the Y, then we make it ES. What if we have what is called a sibilant? A sibilant are those letters or combinations that give the S sound or a similar sound. Fox, foxes, ES. Bus, buses, ES. Mess, messes. Arch, arches. Watch, watches. Bush, bushes. Buzz, buzzes. Smashes. All these are called sibilants because of the S sound we get, and they use the ES. How about words that end in an F? Usually, or most often, the F is changed to a V. Instead of a hard F sound like cuffs, it softens to a V sound and you get calves. Cuff, calves. Shelf, shelves. Instead of saying leaves with a hard F, the F changes to a soft V. Leaves. Wife, wives. Wolf, wolves. Knife, knives. A softening sound and changing an F to a V. Other words that end in an F, we don't bother to change the F to a V. And these you'll just have to learn from experience. Chief, chiefs. We do not say chiefs, we say chiefs with a hard F. Roof, roofs. You will hear people say roofs, but this is incorrect. It's a hard F, roofs. Brief, briefs. Cliff, cliffs. Safe, safes. If you're talking of safes where you keep your money, then it has to be a hard F. Muff, muffs, double F, cannot be changed to a V. So words ending in F can vary from those that change to F to a V to those that do not change. There are regional exceptions. In certain parts of the English-speaking world, a dwarf is pronounced dwarves, unspelt with a V. A hoof, a horse's hoof, can be hoofs or hooves. A scarf can be scarfs or scarves. And a wharf can be wharfs or wharves, changing to the VES. This varies from region to region. Words ending in O, they're very interesting. There used to be many words that ended in O that were actually ended in OE, but this tradition of changing some words to OE is fast disappearing. For instance, cuckoo, cuckoos, video, videos, banjo, banjos, piano, pianos. Most words ending in O just take a regular S. Dominoes. Today it's OS. Salvos, cargoes, tornadoes. Today they are all OS, but you will find older cases where it's OES. mosquitoes, tomatoes and potatoes. The correct pronunciation for tomatoes should of course be tomatoes, because this is because of the A there. But whether you pronounce it tomatoes or tomatoes, today it ends in an OS, but there are still some people who prefer OES. Mangoes, OS, and potatoes. They come from the word patat, and that should really be a short A, but tradition has given us potatoes, OS. The OES is fast dying out. So as you can see, there are the main idea of a plural is to add an S on the end, but there are numerous occasions where we can change it into ES or even V. Introduce a V, very complex and very interesting. Words, plurals ending in O. Kilos, photos, hippos, no problem, simply OS. We have, here's an interesting one. What if we have a phrase, a hyphenated phrase like mother-in-law, courts-martial, ladies-in-waiting, hyphenated. Which of these words will get the plural S? Choose the most important. Usually it's the noun. Mothers. Mothers-in-law, you're talking about mothers. Courts-martial, you're talking about law courts. Therefore, the S goes for courts. Ladies-in-waiting, we're talking about ladies. So they get the plural S, ladies-in-waiting. And then, of course, we have the unusual plurals. The English language, unfortunately, has many, many unusual endings, some of them actually quite humorous. Foot, feet. You can't talk about foots, they have to be feet. Goose, geese. Foot and goose both have double O's. Feet and geese both have double E's. So there's a help there. But what about mouse? I'm afraid we cannot call them meese. They are mice. Ox and child are very old. They go way back to the early Germanic period. You can tell by the ending, the en ending. Oxen, children, and women show these about some of the oldest words in the English language. They go right back to the Germanic. Some words have two plurals. Penny. A penny can be pennies or pence. Access sounds similar, but the plural is the ES. Tooth and teeth, but louse and lice. As I say, there is a variety of plurals, and these can only be learned by experience. Sometimes you have words that have no plural. There is no plural. Fish. It is wrong to say fishes. The plural of fish is fish. Cod. One cod, 10 cod. Sheep. One sheep, 50 sheep. Pike, swine, aircraft, grouse, deer, and salmon. There's no such thing as salmons. One salmon, 10 salmon. No plural. Some words are plural in their very definition. Cattle is the general term that can apply to one cow or 100. Forceps, pincers, shears, and scissors, because they are made of two portions that work together, they're always plural. You cannot say one scissor. It's a scissors, a plural word that is treated as a singular. And the word series. Series by definition means a number of, but it is a singular word, and so we can call it a series. Some words are permanently plural. For instance, gymnastics. We do not say one gymnastic. When talking of the subject, we have to use a plural word. Mathematics. There's no such thing as a mathematic. It is a plural word. Economics, logistics, athletics, and politics are plural words. Here we then come to the problem of changes in spelling. All spelling changes eventually. May take a long time, but it will eventually. And we have words here right in front of our eyes that are changing, and there is resistance. Some wish to keep the old spelling, others adapt the new spelling. Take the word medium. Is it mediums or media? The media or mediums. Formula is a very good example. Formulas or formulae. Formulae is the older historic spelling. Radius, radiuses or radii. The radiuses or the radii. Appendix. This one is very interesting. One appendix. Are you going to have appendices, 10 appendices, or appendixes? Chateaus, chateaus plural, or chateau spelt with an X. And gâteau. You want a gâteaus spelt with an S, or gâteaux spelt with an X. These are words that are changing, and inevitably the new spelling will overtake the old spelling in time. There are words in review, words that have very strange endings, some that are always plural, some that are never plural. Most interesting odd plural words like mouse and mice, but generally speaking, the vast majority of plurals in English will end in the letter S.